Gonna have what we call a tour around the British Museum. We was disturbed by the European man trying to take us to move away from here. I don't know why.
You will need to navigate through the halls of white supremacy. The more they discover, the more scandalous, and I just can't stand it anymore.
No.
When you're ready, Phil.
Okay. Black Eye TV again. We're now talking about health and well-being. You know, your health is your wealth. Make sure you drink your greens, because if you don't drink your greens, you're gonna be in trouble. You know, these animals out here, they're eating different type of food. But you know what? We're coming here to learn about history, and we come to have an understanding that what our ancestors and what our people in the past used to eat and what they were about. You know, this beautiful lady is going to be giving us a beautiful tour around the museum. So I just want you to know, what is your perspective around the health and well-being of our ancestors in the past?
I know that our ancestors were very healthy beings, that they lived to an average age of about 135 years, and that was as recent as the 20th century. I personally know of 2-3 family individuals that lived beyond 115 years, so it was quite common. I know that our diet's changed a lot due to many reasons. But,
but what is, like as we was coming up, you had a little bit of a prospect on, you wasn't really too happy with where the vegetarian diets was going, and the way people's mindsets were about it. What's your opinion?
Yeah, it's not that I'm not happy about it. It's just that I feel that African food proper is being left off the menu.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't see traditional African foods on there as foods that are okay, like the yam, the cassava.
Because you know, like cassava, which we in Nigeria we call gari. If you go to Jamaica, they have a format which we call what they call bami.
Oh, yes.
Which is a harder version, and it both comes from the cassava.
Wow.
So it's like if you made the gari and you left it out, it gets hard.
Right.
And it turns into a biscuit.
Oh, right. It's the same thing.
So it's the same thing.
Yeah.
So
and it's very nutritious.
Yeah.
And it keeps you going. If you have nothing else to eat, that's what a lot of people survive on.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, as we were saying now with the Asians and the times of their fishing and what they used to eat and what they were about, what kind of insight of information have you learned about it?
Well, I've learned that a lot of the inventions that we speak of, in fact, one in particular, the chariot. Now, I know the chariot, the Sumerians claim or the Western institutions claim the Sumerians invented the chariot. They didn't. And we've got evidence of that here. The chariot was invented in Africa by Africans. The difference was that the use of the chariot was for agriculture. So it seems to me everything that Africans invented was for the benefit of humanity. So you have the chariot over there, which you'll be able to see when we walk around there. And you'll see it's being used for agricultural purposes. But the Sumerians or the Assyrians, they used it for war.
Okay.
And that was the only thing. And that was after the invention of the said chariot.
Okay. Let's have a good look at this chariot that this beautiful lady is talking about.
A period of 1501 to 1474 BC.
Wow.
Okay, and as you can see, this African man with his afro is pulling a horse along a chariot with a horse, and you can see on the bottom another dual. In fact, there's two horses pulling these chariots. One, the top is black and brown horse. The bottom is white, are white horses. And the figure on the right is Neber Moon.
People, can you see that? There's a black horse and there's a white horse. What do you think? I leave that to you. Leave it into your suspicious minds.
So yeah, so that's one of the most striking things, because it's a bone of contention. It's something that the Western institutions insist that the horse and the chariot is a European invention, when in fact we can see that it was in use
A long time
a
ago.
long time ago.
Yeah. Which the Greeks and the Romans took the ideas and even brought it because they even were talking about agriculture in England.
Yeah.
That's why they put reasons why they wanted to take over the
right.
land.
That's right.
So I understand that history over there. Okay, now we're just seeing a little bit around. We're seeing like our people, they look like they're like rabbits. You know, and they've got a little bit of farming around here.
African.
Yeah.
Okay, ancient Egyptians were African. So as we can see here, they are bringing offerings to Neber Moon. So
Okay.
they are sacrificing animals and bringing them offerings to the temple that was built
Okay.
for the specific purpose of bringing offerings to the dead. Or
Okay.
in this case, it's Neber Moon.
Never moved.
So this depicts a
Bring on to the information over there.
yeah. So this depicts a feast for Neber Moon. And
Okay.
you can see that it's crowded with all sorts of different types of food and offerings. My point here is that in traditional African spirituality, sacrifice and offerings
Yeah.
of food to the dead has been a consistent thing that's been present throughout African culture. You don't find it in European culture until the Jewish people adopted the Judaism in order to then adopt the practice of circumcision and sacrificing animals. So I just wanted to...
You hear that? We started it first. It came from us. Nowhere else. You need to go to the motherland. Open your mind. People, wake up. Ready? Yeah, Rich has got a chip on his shoulder. you know we love you, Rich. You know, you're the UK Rich for Black Eyes TV 7. Anyway, as we was talking about our ancestors and we was talking about offerings, now we're going to go into that format of the mind and spirit and understanding what information that our ancestors have given us and what history we understand about this kind of stuff.
Okay.
Anyway.
Right. I wanted to come into this particular section here because I wanted to draw people's attention. It's part of the tour. But I wanted to draw people's attention to these three skeletons. And there are three skeletons here. New visitors to the museum may not realise there are three skeletons here because they've been rearranged.
Okay.
Right? So, first of all, at the far end, you might notice a skull.
Yeah, right at the back.
Right at the back, and then the rest of
Come
the
on, Rich.
skeleton-
Let's quickly go and see that one, quickly.
Yeah. The rest of the skeleton is sort of been abandoned.
Right
under
over
the
there.
bench.
People, look at that skeleton. It's a real one, I suppose.
It's a real skeleton. Now, prior to maybe last year, all three skeletons were lined up side by side. This bench was not blocking the view of this skeleton.
Yeah.
But for some reason, perhaps I don't know if you can get the shot Perhaps because the nasal fossae is in perfect order, you can see it's an African skull.
Can you see that, people?
They've turned it
Getting closer to it,
direction that you will never, or you will have to bend your back
to understand that this is an African skull.
of the nasal fossae on that skull. Okay? With people who know the bones, so how to identify Africans, they will know that that's an African. Okay? Now, the middle skeleton was not arranged in this way before. Last time I was here, it wasn't. There were three lined up, side by side, arms flat. If you notice, they've rearranged the arms to have it tucked behind the hip. And the only reason for this that I could even imagine is to distort the length of the lower limb. Okay, because with Homo neanderthals, the lower limbs are shorter than the upper limb. Okay? That's why white man can't jump, that's why they can't dance, that's why they can't do many things.
Stiff.
Yeah? Because of the shorter lower limbs. The arms, shorter, the lower limbs of the arms and the lower limbs of the leg are shorter without fail. So if you have a skeleton whose limbs are proportionate in length, you're looking at an African. You're not looking at a Chinese person, you're not looking at a white European person, you're looking at a black African. Okay?
Yeah. Just remember that, Africa.
Yeah. So these are the skeletons from the Levant, yeah? So you can see they've rearranged this one in the middle to hide the lower length limbs of the arms, the lower limbs of the arms.
Okay.
And plus, even though that skull is badly damaged, the one in the middle, you can't see the nasal foot because the nasal foot.
You know, like for me, you know, like in that form of spiritualness, and even though the spirit has left the body, and as we all know, we bury our ancestors to rest. Now, doesn't it feel different when you've now actually taken these original bodies and not to even make duplicates?
No.
Right, and then put it into a glass container.
Yes.
Doesn't you feel that that brings a different form of energy, or how do you feel about it?
It's actually ritualistic, I believe.
Yeah.
And it's ritually sending out subliminal messages that Africans are here for display. For example, you know, I just think that the mentality of the world of academia is disconnected from humanity.
Okay.
Yeah. So they find it acceptable to display live skeletons.
Because I find it in certain parts where it gets really hot when we go to like the caskets and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But we're going to move on to the next place, and then we're going to talk a bit more.
Yeah. The triangular nasal fossae equals African. Okay? No deliberation, no confusion. The triangular shaped nasal fossae equals African skull. Okay? It's always been that way. No amount of, manipulation can change that.
Okay.
Yeah? So when on the tour we go into room 3, which is by the front door, and they've reconstructed a skull from the Levant, okay? And they've used a very badly damaged skull. So the question I ask is, why not use the complete skulls that you have here? And of course, the reason why they do that is so that they can manipulate the results like they have done to make it, to Europeanize the head, okay? So we're forever battling.
I hope you're enjoying this, because this is information that you would never get from anyone else.
Okay.
Back again, Black Eyes TV 7. Look at my gift. It's amazing. Look what I got. Do you want one? Come on the tour, because she's going to explain what the tour is about. So when you come, you get the information.
So the tour is on a Sunday, The next one is this Sunday, in fact. You just go on Eventbrite, look for Ancient Africans in Europe, Asia and America. That's the name of the tour. Ancient Africans in Europe, Asia and America. You see, I will show you the presence of Africans in these continents outside of Africa and show you how they molded and influenced and in fact built civilization itself in those regions. Okay, we'll expose the lie that the Peking man, who we know is Homo erectus, which is not human and is not a human ancestor. They use the Peking man to say that humans arrived in Asia 700,000 years ago. It's a lie. Homo erectus is not human. We know this, we've known this since 2001. So why are they still purporting the lie?
But shh, we got to keep that one quiet
Yes.
because you have to come to the tour. You have to come to the tour, and when you come to the tour, you'll get the secret information. Not everything could be televised.
So do come, you're gonna be blown away. Okay? So I will show you every element of information that you need to know for each region. And we also cover Africa as well, and the history of
Give me a shot of that hat.
Just thank you very much, and take a shot of this hat. You can see it there. That's my gift. You can get your gift when you come to the tour. Yeah, this is Terry Riggs, the UK tour to the rest of the world. HKTH, baby.
Jah rules us all.